Hello and welcome to our Busy Webinar. I'm Dave Meyer with BizzyWeb, joining you from the BizzyWeb offices in Champlin, Minnesota, just out of Minneapolis. It's a lovely day here in Minneapolis and delighted to have you with us. We're going to talk a little bit about engaging headlines today. One of the things that all of our content clients ask us on a regular basis is how can they get more clicks on the links that they provide for folks via their blog posts or via their social media posts or via their email marketing. And so we're going to talk about all of those things today in high-level overview, and then we're also going to look at a few examples. As we do each week, I'll go through a little bit on our agenda. We're going to talk about BizzyWeb for a couple seconds, and then we're going to get into the content for the day with writing engaging headlines. We'll talk about general guidelines, headline types, content ideas, and then we're going to go through Q&A and tech support. As far as that's concerned, the way to ask questions during today's event is to go to the Google Hangout page. So from our event today, you likely clicked on writing engaging headlines, or you followed the link to this page. And on this page, you probably saw that there's a link, and you're probably watching this embedded video right now. So if you are watching the embedded video, but you would like to ask questions, or if you have example headlines that you'd like me to help you juice up, by all means, please enter those via the Google Plus Q&A tool. If you click on number 1 under the or above the embedded video, you'll be able to click over to our Google Plus page for this event. And if you click on that, it's going to open up a new window. From that window, you will see that it says Q&A and live right now. And then if you click play, it's going to open up a window. And I am going to pause this as soon as it comes up, but it'll automatically play. And then inside of that window, you'll be able to ask questions via the big green Ask a New Question button. So on this Ask a New Question button, you simply type away and we'll say ask a question or provide a sample headline you'd like help with here. So out of those two things, please go ahead and enter those in. And during the event, we're going to take a break and at a few times, and we're going to either answer your questions about headlines or about anything in general at the end of the webinar, or if you would like us to help you with one of your headlines for your blog posts, or if you have a headline that you've been noodling for a while and you'd like some help with it, by all means, type that in here and we will provide our thoughts and help you brainstorm some additional options there. We have a bunch of folks that are online again, so I'm going to just go through this one more time. If you would like to ask questions or provide or get our input on a headline that you're working on from the event page. If you're watching here, jump out of that and click under number 1 on this Google Plus link. It's going to open up a new window. When you click play, you'll be able to see this, but you'll also be able to click the play button on that embedded video to open up this window that has the green Ask a New Question button on it. You do need to be logged into Google Plus in order to do that, but it's only like a 2 or 3 minute thing that'll require you to walk through. Just click OK, 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 or dismiss, 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 and you'll be into Google Plus and you'll be able to ask us questions. Would love to have you here with us, and we'd love to help you with your headlines. So by all means, if you're considering help, forward it on to us that way. If you do have questions, here's how to get a hold of us. Join us at BizzyWeb.com or dial us at 612-424-9990. Sounds like Jenna on our team right now is helping someone out with a technical question, but we'd love to have you available we'd love to have you on this call. And if you're having issues, by all means, let us know. All right, so who we are. First, BizzyWeb was founded in '99. We're based in Champlin, of course. We have a team of 14 folks, and we have clients all over the world. We do a lot of things with realtors and a lot of things with business service businesses. What we really do focus on is creating websites and accompanying online marketing that are designed to work together in a cohesive system. When you publish to your BizzyWeb-powered website, your website auto-publishes to Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Google+, Pinterest, and seamlessly integrates with your email marketing. So what we do is help our clients save time, money, and of course, generate buzz without getting stung. That also looks like social media integrations and online engagements. So if you need help with any of your online marketing, please do give us a call. Let's get into our headlines for the day and talk about our general guidelines with online marketing. So first, here's what you've got coming up with general stuff for all headlines. There's a simple guideline to think about when you're looking at your headlines for your emails, for your social media, for your blog posts, for anything that you're trying to connect and engage people's attention with. First, think of the 2-2-2 rule. First off, you have 2 seconds to grab people's attention. That means that you need to get right out and right to the point with what you're trying to convey. Inside of the first 2 words that you're trying to connect people with, or inside of that headline, there needs to be some sort of an action or something to draw people in inside of those first 2 words. The last 2 that you need to be considerate about is, why do I care today? So 2 seconds, 2 words, and today will guide you to help you grow your business through better headlines. So just keep that 2-2-2 rule available and ready for you. If, by the way, you would like to take screenshots at any point of this event so you can save it for later, by all means, you can do that in Windows by doing Alt Print Screen, opening up a Word document or something similar and pasting, either Control V or right click and paste. Or if you're on a Mac, you can do Command Shift 4, and you'll get a little crosshairs. With that crosshairs, you'll just highlight the section that you want to get a picture of. And after you drag and drop that highlight crosshairs, it'll snap a picture and drop it right on your desktop. So very easy to do. But remember, for general guidelines, 2 seconds worth of content, 2 words, and today. The big thing that you also need to be considerate of on these is that with headlines, more and more we are reduced to the absolute bare minimum as far as the real estate that we get to play in. We are all needing to think about mobile devices now, and the fact that on worst case, a 3.5 or 4-inch screen does not give you much room for people to read your entire headline. So if you can keep your headline as short as possible and as action-oriented as possible right up front, you'll have much better likelihood that people will click on your headlines, whether it be on the emails, in your website, or in your social media. So let's talk about urgency and immediacy in your headlines. Here's some bad examples and some good examples of good headlines and bad. So as we look at these, I'm going to talk through a little bit about why each of these is good or bad. But obviously, August newsletter, especially if you're thinking in an inbox of someone that's trying to provide or grab someone's attention and get them to click on that email so that they can see the rest of the content, August newsletter is just not a great idea. There's not enough to tell people what's going on, and everybody's got a newsletter, big deal. What's good or a better option might be need 3 hammers tomorrow. This is an example of what someone in Habitat for Humanity sent out to get people to a build that they were trying to get moving. They had a little bit of an empty spot, or they had 3 extra spaces. And so that's what they sent out. They just said, need 3 hammers tomorrow. Well, folks that were available that very next day saw that, clicked it, and they actually had 5 new people that attended that event. Would never have gotten that if they just said August newsletter. All right. Less awesome headline, pet store news. That doesn't tell me anything. It might tell you what at least you're talking about, or maybe if it was company news in your company, that gives a little bit more detail or interest. But here's a better one. Help your dog beat the heat. Beat the dog days of summer. Something that engages and is encouraging and gets people to take notice and perk their ears up, so to speak. Children's classes, less awesome than, still time to help your child get ahead before school. Get people informed and engaged with every headline that you work on. You have to tell them what they need to care about. You have to tell them how they can care about it and what they can do as a next step. And you have to tell them when. So need 3 hammers tomorrow. help your dog beat the heat, the indication on that is today. And still time to help your child to get ahead before school. Again, before school. So give them some sort of timing inside of a headline to get them to try to do what you want them to do. Headlines are the watchword, the forebear, as people are reaching out and connecting with you. In order to grow your business, you need to have great headlines that tie directly into what people are interested in your business. So I'm going to click over just for a second. If you do have those questions, again, this is the way to do that. Just go into the BizzyWeb event, click on here, and click under number 1 above on the Google Plus link. That'll open up this page. And then when you click play on that video, it's going to open up the page that you see here. You'll be able to click the green Ask a New Question button. I'd love to see your sample headlines and see if we can't help you juice those headlines up a little bit, make them pop a little harder, and get the kind of results that you're looking for. So please be aware that that's available to you today. So let's talk about basic structure of headlines. First, headlines, of course, need to be as short as possible. You want to make them able to be browsed by cell phones and by short attention span browsers. So make them short and keep the important stuff up front. SEO folks, search engine optimization people, will tell you that keywords need to be in the first couple of words of a headline for maximum optimization and the best rankings in Google and other search engines. The thing is, as with all journalism, you need to get the details, what you really want people to accomplish or do, right up front so that they don't have to hunt around in your content. Burying the lead is something that in journalism school I learned, and you don't want to do that, because if you don't get to the point, if you wander around or sell some sort of a fluffy introduction to what you're trying to do, people don't have the attention span, especially in this new online and social media fragmented world, to understand or to wind around to your point. Hit them with the point, back it up, and go in after they're already engaged and tell that story, and back up a few steps, but get right to the point, especially with your keywords. Again, thinking about the length of your subject line or your keywords or your headlines is going to be important. So keep it to 8 or 10 words or less. A search engine optimized heading or title on any given page or post needs to be less than 55 characters now on Google. That keeps shortening, and largely because of mobile devices, 55 characters is about 1/3 of a tweet, and it's really, really short. If you look at it, and in Microsoft Word, it'll count characters for you when you're typing. Also in publishing platforms like WordPress, it automatically calculates that. What happens if you go beyond 55 words? If Google is displaying your content, it will simply cut off everything after 55 characters. And sometimes it'll break it in the middle of a word. Sometimes it'll go a little earlier and push things across. But what you'll see is you'll be halfway through your amazing headline, and then Google's just going to say ... instead of the rest of your headline. So if your headline was tell readers why they should care, your headline, if it was cut off, would be tell readers why they should ... That's not helpful, and it doesn't get to the point. So make sure that you keep it short. They also need to have active voice. You know, there's a lot of commerce or comments in the English literature and in just good writing about how you should always have active voice as much as possible. You don't want to have things that are too passive or past tense or third person. Instead, you want to get right to the point, talk to you, we, us, I, and show people the immediate action that either they can take, or that the headline is taking, or that the comment or content of your article is getting to right inside of that headline. Active voice is much more engaging, and it gets right to the point. You also need to tell your readers why they should care and make the content about them. No one cares if you've been in business for 20 years or you're really nice people. What they care is, can you fix what I need help with? And so sharing that right up front and making the content about your clients is much, much better. And I'm going to talk about 3 headline types that'll help you gauge through that. The 3 are social proof. aka FOMO, or what others are doing. Bonus points if you know what FOMO is. I'm going to cover it in a little bit. But if you can connect with them on social proof, that'll show people what everybody else is doing, or what someone that's prominent in the community or a celebrity is doing, something that they can attach themselves to, someone they know. If they know that that person is doing something, they're much more likely to take notice. There's threat or danger headlines, what you're missing out on, or the 3 things you need to know or else you're going to die today, or winning, gaining, and tips posts. So the softer side, what you'll get, what you'll benefit from, the inherent benefits inside of whatever you're getting. So, just everybody else is doing it. This is what's bad that's going to happen, or what might happen that's bad if you don't read this, or here's something amazing you can read about right now. So let's get into a little bit more detail on those 3 types. First, social proof shows what others are doing and invites folks to join in. FOMO is fear of missing out. If you find out that 3 of your friends are doing something, or especially on social media, if 5 of your friends have clicked like on a headline and you see that inside of your Facebook feed, you're much more likely to click on that because you don't want to miss out on that data or that content. So having that social proof inside of there is a very helpful aggregator or keyword to get people to take the next step, which is, of course, clicking on your headline. So examples, what this top chef does to shave 200 calories off every meal, why the Dutch are happier than you, top contractors share the signs of a bad roof, or Oprah Winfrey shares her favorite book of the month. Those sorts of things are much more likely to be connected. That's what celebrity endorsements tend to capitalize on, the social proof. You can also tag into prominent websites, prominent bloggers, prominent people in your industry, or people that you know are connected with the people you're trying to reach. So if you were trying to reach business professionals, it might be what your lawyer isn't telling you. That's kind of getting into the threat and danger side as well, but you're going after social proof by saying these are the things that someone you know knows that you don't. So again, share in and get people to connect with the people they already know in order to engage and inform the people you're trying to reach. So that's social proof. Next up is threat and danger posts. So we're hardwired to avoid pain. The old adage in journalism is, if it bleeds, it leads. The key thing is you need to directly connect with how people react to news and information, and threats tend to always draw our attention. It just grabs a hold of our visceral, of our lizard brains, and makes us take notice. So what you don't know about carbs could kill you, or these 3 questions could save you thousands on Windows, or is your sunscreen leaving you exposed to harmful rays, right? The Honest brand of sunscreen has gotten into a lot of trouble lately. And just reading and being an astute listener and reader of headlines can help you to engage and to kind of learn from what people are doing. If you read like BuzzFeed or your Facebook posts and you see what posts have a lot of interaction on them, you'll be able to start to get a feel for what good headlines are. And so using as many and as personal of examples on what's happening can be a very powerful way to draw people's eyes in and to draw their clicks. The other side of threat and danger is, of course, win, gain, or tips. So state the benefit of your article up front and show what that win will be. So the best advice for an easy bedtime: train your puppy in half the time, or maybe these 3 tips will increase your sales by 50%. So 5 things, 4 tips, quantify things. People love lists, people love bullet points, people love novelty. Humor is a great way to grab people's attention, but you have to be careful with humor because it might be just as off-putting as it is humorous, and everyone has a different sense of humor, of course. One general guideline or rule of thumb on humor in particular is make sure you'd be comfortable telling it to your grandmother, or if your grandmother was particularly salty, then to your local nun. or your local trusted kind of elderly person to make sure that you're not saying something that would gather ire. Especially in politics or in religion, you just want to be careful and stay clear of anything that can be scandalizing or galvanizing as far as your headlines and your content. You want to grab people's attention, but for the right reasons and not for the shock value of what's involved. So as you look at this, working on your content and working on what you need to drill back from can be very helpful as you look at what these wins or what the threat or what the social proof posts or headlines can be. Let's think about it for just a couple of seconds. I want to give you some more examples on content ideas. And here's some example questions to ask yourself when you're looking for the content in general, but also as you're thinking about your headlines. So asking these questions: what's new? What did you do recently to help someone achieve success? And illustrate that. What advice do your customers have they been asking you about? If you have frequently asked questions on your website, those are probably great posts, or that's great post fodder. And getting right to the point in the headline on that frequently asked question is going to be very helpful. So don't just post FAQ number 3, post what you need to know about bits and baubles in order to save cash or whatever, right? So get right to the point. And if you only have 2 seconds to share something, or only have 2 words, and you want to share something today with those people, think about what you need to get up in there. So, and what might surprise or delight your readers? If you've been in a BNI sort of style group or a business networking group, what they coach you on in sharing your 30-second update is to get to the point on what's going to make you the most referable and some interesting tidbit that's going to capture their imagination or capture a call to action inside of what you're trying to share. So always get into what's in it for people that you're trying to reach, why they can refer it, and it shouldn't necessarily be overtly salesy. I mean, sales related headlines are cool, like maybe 1 in 10 times, about 10%. But in general, your content should about half of the time be written to engage and to connect with people, to share interesting, helpful tidbits. Another 30% or so should be to inform people, to share helpful education or updates or things that they'd find interesting and informative. And then the last 20% can and should be about physical calls to action, getting them to convert. In my parlance, I call that engage, inform, capture, and convert as the 4 signs of marketing. And your content inside of that should always be drilled towards getting people to take one of those steps. Some warnings on headlines: always be truthful and don't over sensationalize. These 2 things will kill you if you don't look at this article right now. The old Rolling Stone cover that this puppy will die if you don't buy this magazine, and they have a picture of a dog with a gun to its head. No bait and switch. If you promise something in a headline, be sure to deliver. A lot of times you'll see this in particular on social media or BuzzFeedy related things. And what I love about those is the commenters on those articles tend to be brutal with it. So if you see these 3 tips will really help your business succeed, and then it goes off about, how to buy a watch or how to do something else, and it just doesn't relate at all to the article, or maybe it only restates the question that they promised they'd answer, but it never really answers the question. You need to watch that, and you need to be careful. People's time is precious, and people's memories are long. If they see an article from you and you bait and switch them in, or it's something that's not really as helpful or as informative as they had expected from your headline, they're not going to click on your headlines again. So make sure that you're delivering on your promises. Focus on the customer. WIIFM is what's in it for me. And nobody really cares about how smart you are. They more care about what do you do that I can benefit from. And if you are a realtor, they're going to care much more about the tips that you need to know in order to sell your house quicker, or the best neighborhoods to live in Minneapolis, or the 3 things that you might want that you might not have thought about, or the 3 things that would amaze you on curb appeal that can save you thousands and sell your house twice as fast. Those types of information, that's much better than sharing an article headline that says, we are the top ranked realtor in Minnesota, or we're in the top 10%, or we've been doing this for 25 years. Great, congratulations. What's in it for me? Don't overuse and abuse clickbait tactics. As we all browse through our social networks, whether it be Twitter or Facebook, Pinterest, Google+, LinkedIn headlines, it's real easy to get caught up and to start thinking in an overly clickbaitish way. So, the baiting and switching kind of tactics, the over sensationalizing, the content that comes in and is just overstating or misleading people in order to get them to click on things. Don't get fooled or don't get tricked into using all of that because of the other articles that you're reading. Just because a large media conglomerate is trying to drive as many eyeballs and clicks to their advertisers as possible, that does not mean that it's good content for you. And publishing exactly the same kinds of things can definitely become challenging, especially if you're trying to build relationships with your customers. You need to respect your readers as much as you need to grab their attention. So be sure to be careful that you don't get too caught up in the way things could be, or in other things that you're reading and trying to mimic things that seem to be working, because your motives as a business owner are probably very different than the motives of a BuzzFeed or a Reddit or even Facebook, or some of the articles that you see on Facebook. So thinking about that and being careful is very important. It's also important to use the right tools. So as you look at all of these things, your headlines can be applied to all of these. And so as you think about your entire online marketing universe, all of these things need to work together. And of course, we can help you do that if you don't know how. But your website should include update posts, and it can auto-update your networks with deals, offers, specials, information, blog posts, content. Facebook is great for general posts, maybe some deals. LinkedIn is usually good for business-to-business posts and thought leadership. So headlines revolving around that. You're going to have almost zero traction by trying to offer a special or a deal via LinkedIn, because people don't want to be sold. They want to connect, and they want to look at and connect with leaders in your industry. And so make sure that you're sharing high value content, especially on LinkedIn. Google Plus is pretty much good for search engine optimization. They're changing things up and switching it into Hangouts, photos, and feeds, content feeds. And so the content feed arm, or the content that you're publishing to your Google Plus page, largely make sure that it's just as, again, 222 friendly as possible, and it has the keywords right up in front of that article, and that you link directly to your website or wherever you're trying to drive traffic to for best results. And then, of course, Twitter is best for short updates, headlines of your articles, and tips. So as you think about headlines in particular, this could also be a Twitter headline writing workshop, because as you think about 140 characters worth of content, you don't get a lot of time or a lot of information. You can think of a tweet as a plus-sized headline, or a very short-sized intro into content or details that you're trying to connect with. I'm going to switch over and see if we have any questions. Doesn't look like we do, so I'm going to drop back over. We still have a lot of viewers on, so if, again, you would like to ask questions, or if you'd like to have our help juicing up your headlines, go ahead and pop some of those headlines in. Just click on this Google Plus link. It's going to take you to a page that looks just like this. Click on this green Ask a New Question button and give me a sample headline, something that you've discussed or covered in the past couple of weeks perhaps, or that you're thinking about writing. And then we'd love to help you to rewrite that headline to be more engaging and clear. So as we do that and as we wait, I'm just going to go into our wrap up. Again, as a reminder, BizzyWeb does web design and online marketing content. So if you're not connected with us already, and if you haven't considered updating your website to be fully mobile responsive and building it around what you're trying to get your clients to do, I would encourage you to give us a call today, and I'll tell you another step in a moment on how to do that. We also have web hosting. If you have a WordPress-powered website and you would like help with online posting, give us a call, because we have incredibly valuable offers on our hosting that can take you and keep your website more secure and get you better results with your marketing just through our hosting. And then our online marketing programs, including Buzz Builders, are among the best ways to get the most bang for your online marketing. We have programs designed to either coach you through what you should do, or all the way down to writing all of your content, all of your headlines, all of your details to get people to take the next step with you and to do what you're asking them to do. Our Buzz Builders programs are fantastic. If you already have your website set up and you have a solid foundation, the next thing you need to do is make your online marketing generate leads and business for you. And that's what the Buzz Builders program is designed to do. Be sure to join us every single Wednesday, and I'll cover that in just a moment as to what's coming up next. But I'd like to get right into this. If you haven't taken the time to go to BizzyWeb.com/buzz to fill out a buzz report, all you need to do is fill out the box that you see on this page. It says, "I'd like a buzz report." You enter in your URL, a keyword that you'd like to be found for. If you'd like, you can enter in a competitor's URL, your name and your email address, click scan now, and within about 45 seconds, you'll get back a complete 10-page analysis of how you're looking on your search engine optimization, your social media optimization, and also how well your competition is doing if you enter in your competitor field. We'll also call you to connect with you if you'd like, but there's certainly no gotchas inside of this particular handout or giveaway. We'd just like to be as useful and helpful as possible for you. So take a little bit of time and learn more about what you're doing right and what you could do better by filling out your free buzz report. One more time to ask to offer up questions. I don't see any, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast. If you do have any questions, by all means, get a hold of us. Here's again how to reach us. You go to BizzyWeb.com. You go into and go into the Contact Us area, or dial us at 612-4BizzyO. That's 612-424-9990. Again, I am Dave Meyer at BizzyWeb, reminding you at BizzyWeb, we help you generate buzz without getting stung. Have a fantastic week, and we'll talk to you next time.